And here come your Pekin 10 UAA Dragons for Game 2 of the 2025 UHT Luck of the Irish tournament here in South Bend, Indiana. Dragons are taking the ice bright and early this morning. We're all rested up, ready to go. We'll rip through the roster here real quick. In numerical order. Number 7, Braxton Courts. Number 11, Easton Cook. Number 19, Grayson Blevins. Number 25, Jackson McCoy. Number 33, Jet Nafziger. Oh, sorry, forgot number 29, Nash Moldenau. Number 40, Jonah Smith. Number 77, Houston Richardson. Number 80, Payson Shortino. Number 82, netminder Wesley Johnson. Number 84, Emmett Cook. Number 90, Wyatt Flynn. Pekin 10 UAA Dragons coaching staff consists of head coach Josh Gale. Looks like we've got Jake Flynn, Brian Blevins, and Mr. Barry Moldenauer on the bench today. Chip Hill and Caleb Smith are both absent this weekend, and Duncan Hill and Ace Archdale are not rostered this weekend either. Thanks for tuning in today after yesterday's defeat in Game 1. Dragons' collective record for the season is 23-8-1. And this is the last tournament of the season here in South Bend, Indiana. We're coming to you from the Icebox Skating Rink, Rink 2 in South Bend. We'll be back here later this afternoon, 2:45 Eastern Time, I believe. Or, sorry, Central Time. 3:45 Eastern Time. So tune in for that. We'll rip through some of this season's sponsors one last time here before the end of the tournament here. Stanley Cup sponsorship for the season. Laborers Local 231 out of Pekin. Laborers International Union of North America. www.illaborers.org. Hat-trick sponsors for the season. Cook Construction. Construction professionals servicing the Tri-County area since 1982. www.kochconstructionwithak.com. Schilling Masonry Inc. Experienced bricklayers out of Morton. Find them on Facebook. King Tree Specialists, full-service tree care company servicing Central Illinois, www.kingtreespecialists.com. And Power Play sponsorships for the season. Quartz Heating and Air, family-owned HVAC shop in Pekin. Find them on Facebook under Quartz Heating and Air Conditioning, Inc. Growing Smiles Dentistry, pediatric dentists out of Peoria, www.growing-smilespeoria.com. Lincoln Office, commercial furniture and design, www.lincolnoffice.com. And Mr. Kirk Nafziger, the coolest cousin ever. We'll stop there for now. Teams are getting their final powwows underway, and we'll be starting here momentarily. Today's opponent, Bearcats Hockey Club. All right, let's go Dragons. This is Pekin Dragons 10 UAA hockey. We're going to have Shortino at center, Flynn and Smith on the wing, Grayson Blevins and Emmett Cook in defense, Wesley Johnson in net. And we're off. Shortino for the face-off. Passes it back to Blevins at the near blue line there, over to Flynn on the far side. He's going to skate it across the neutral zone, down into the Bearcat zone, all the way deep into the far corner, centering pass to Shortino. Shortino passes it back to Flynn. Flynn's got some pressure on him. Shortino strips the puck, carries it back to the far corner himself, looking for a centering pass to Flynn again in the slot. Passes it back to Blevins on the near side at the blue line, and he'll send a shot in. Oh, and almost got deflected into the net. Smith back to Shortino. Shortino back to Blevins at the blue line again. Sends another shot. Ooh, ricochets off a Bearcat in front of the net. And back to Emmett Cook at the far blue line. Point. And back to Flynn in the center. And Shortino back over to the near side. Looking for Smith. Smith back to Shortino. Emmett Cook holds it in. Sends a shot up the slot. Goal, Dragons! Emmett Cook goal. Top of the face-off circle. 11:04 remaining in the first period. Woo! All right. Shift number 2. Shortino at center. Courts and Moldenauer on the wing. Nafziger and Emmett Cook on defense. Shortino for the face-off. Bearcats collect it. Send it off the near side boards over to Moldenauer on the near side. And back to Shortino, back to Moldenauer. They'll skate it up the near side. Stops at the center line. And Bearcats pick it off. Carry it into the Dragon zone. Nafziger and Cook back to defend. And Bearcats lob one to the back wall behind the net. Shortino strips it away from the crease. Back to Nafziger. Off to the near side. And Bearcats center one up. And Cook stops that shot. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're confused here. Bearcats are holding it in, and puck squirts out to the neutral zone all the way down to the Bearcats' end. Bearcats will collect it, skate it behind their net, send it off the far side boards, and Emmett Cook will hold it in at the blue line. Sends another shot up the slot there. Bearcats collect it. Back to Moldenauer, sends a shot. Ooh, just wide, and off the back wall. Courts will chase it down in the near corner. Back to Shortino. Shortino. Back to Emmett Cook at the blue line. Sends another shot. Goal, Dragons! Dragons up by 2. It's like Emmett Cook goal. 9:53 remaining in the first period. That was Emmett, right? That was a beautiful shot. Top of the face-off circle on the far side. Jonah Smith at center, Houston Richardson and Easton Cook on the wings, Blevins and Flynn on defense. Smith for the face-off, back to Wyatt Flynn on the far side. And he'll send it up the neutral zone back to Smith, center ice, and Richardson will try to race it down on the near side. Carries it into the Bearcat zone all the way down into the near corner. Over to Jonah Smith, sends it back to Flynn. Flynn sends a shot. Oh, deflected wide by a Bearcat player over to the near side. And he'll exit the Bearcat zone. Bearcats catch it at center ice. Easton Cook strips the puck, turns it around, skates it up the far side, and enters the Bearcat zone. Bearcats send it back out to the neutral zone. Wyatt Flynn's in a foot race for it in the neutral zone, collects the puck on the far side, passes over to Blevins on the near side, and he'll skate it up the near side boards across the neutral zone all the way down into the Bearcat zone. Whoop. Save Bearcats. Bearcats collected on the back wall. Carried up the far side boards. And Flynn will race that down in the Dragon zone. Collects it in front of the goal line there. Stops behind the Dragon's net. Whoop, got a guy on him here. Let's get the puck stripped on the far side. Back to Richardson. And Richardson almost had it out. Easton Cook and Wyatt Flynn chase it down on the far side. Wyatt Flynn sends it over the near side boards over to Jonah Smith on the near side, and he'll squeeze it out into the neutral zone. Offside Bearcats. 8:22 remaining in the first period. Dragons up by 2. Face up at center ice. Shortino at center. Courts and McCoy on the wing. Nafziger and Emmett Cook on defense. From the face-off, Nafziger jams it up to Shortino. Shortino enters the zone with some speed right up the slot. And drags it into the net. 8:09 remaining in the first period. Dragons up by 3. Payson Shortino goal. Same lineup. Shortino for the face-off. Nafziger chases it down in the Dragon zone. Dangles around some Bearcat players and knocks it back out to the neutral zone. Nafziger relentlessly trying to hold it inside the neutral zone there, and he did. Bearcats dump it back into the Dragon zone, and McCook dumps it back out. Courts is in hot pursuit there. Bearcats knocked it back across the neutral zone, and Shortino will chase it down on the far side boards in the Dragon zone. Turns it around. Zigs and zags. to elude some Bearcat traffic. Scoops it back out to the neutral zone and found Jackson McCoy. Here comes Braxton Courts deep into the Bearcat zone. Peels it off the near side boards, and Bearcats exit the zone. Nafziger can't hold the line. Emmett Cook taps it back to Nafziger and back to Shortino. Dragons enter the Bearcat zone again up the near side. And back to McCoy on the far side. Back to Emmett Cook. Back to Jackson McCoy, and puck goes off the far side boards to the back wall. Braxton Courts tries to chase it down. Puck comes up the far side boards. And over to Emmett Cook, and puck squirts out to the neutral zone there. Bearcats carry it across center ice. Nafziger dumps it back out to the neutral zone, got it up to Braxton Courts, and he's going to skate it in on the near side. And glass is a little hazy today. It's hard to see on the near side here what's exactly happening. Goal, Dragons! Got another one. Who got that? I'm not sure who got it. It was either McCoy or Courts. I think it was McCoy. Jonah Smith at center. Easton Cook and Nash Moldenauer on the wing. Grayson Blevins and Wyatt Flynn on defense. Smith for the face-off. Carries it over to the near side and up the near side boards. And got stopped there at the blue line, but Moldenauer drags it in deeper. And Smith holds it inside the line. Sends it back in deep over to the back wall. Nash Moldenauer will race it down on the back wall. And Bearcats get there first. Puck comes up the far side boards. And Wyatt Flynn held it in. Ooh, almost. Wyatt Flynn collects it in the neutral zone over to Nash Moldenauer on the near side. And he'll collect it on the near side boards. Blevins had a shot there, got deflected. Oh, wide open. Oh, Jonah Smith shoots it behind the net there over to the back wall. And Bearcats send it up the near side. Back to Blevins. Blevins sends a shot, gets deflected wide. And Nash Moldenauer will collect it on the back wall. Sends it up the near side boards. Blevins, another shot off the near side. Just wide. And Moldenauer is battling for it behind the Bearcats net. Bearcats collect it. Cross ice pass to another player waiting, and puck comes up to Jonah Smith. And Easton Cook's in hot pursuit in the far corner. Bearcats collect it on the back wall. Turning it around. Fan on the pass there. Whoop. Moldenauer almost had a piece. Blevins almost had a piece. Bearcats skated out across the neutral zone up the far side in front of the Dragons bench. And back to Blevins. Blevins almost cleared the zone there. Bearcats stop him. He'll send it across ice to the near side over to Nash Moldenauer. Moldenauer pass to Easton Cook, and he'll tip it in deep on the far side boards. Bearcats collected deep in their zone. Jonah Smith's in hot pursuit. Almost picked him off there by the net. And Bearcats skated back out to the neutral zone. Flynn stops him in his tracks at the blue line there. Sends it over to Easton Cook on the far side boards, and he'll battle it up the far side in front of the Bearcat bench. Bearcats try to advance across the neutral zone. Moldenauer says no. And back to Grayson Blevins. Back to Moldenauer. Looks like he got a tip on it there. And Bearcats backhand it back to Jonah Smith there. They'll tip it out of the way of their net from Jonah Smith's shot. Oh. Flynn, nope, that was Shortino. Shortino almost had a shot, fanned on it, went wide behind the net and over to the back wall and to the near side. Blevins holds it in. Sends it in deep. Bearcats send it back out. Wyatt Flynn collects it in the Dragon zone, turns it around, sends it off the far side boards looking for Jonah Smith. Puck got peeled out to the center ice circle there, and Bearcats advance back into the Dragon zone momentarily. Moldenauer off to the races. Shortino's going with him. And Moldenauer sends a shot. Ooh, looks like it bounced off Shortino maybe, and then back to the blue line for Flynn. They'll send it back in deep to the far corner. Flynn sends it back into the far corner again. Bearcats collect it behind their net. And try to send it up the near side. Shortino got in the way. Yeah, back across the neutral zone we come. Flynn collects it, skates it around behind the back of Wesley Johnson's net, off the near side boards and out to the neutral zone. Shortino pokes it up a little further. And Richardson tries to help it in. Bearcats were there. Puck comes over to the near side. Jackson McCoy's in high pursuit. Puck comes down into Nefziger deep in the Dragon zone, sends it up the near side boards. Shortino's battling for it inside the blue line. And puck goes over to the far corner. Nefziger will chase it down on the far side. Turns it around. Back to Emmett Cook. Emmett Cook looking for Shortino at the top of the Dragon zone. Skates it out. Passes it up to Richardson. Richardson enters the Bearcat zone. Passes it over to Jackson McCoy on the near side. Sends a shot. Save Bearcats. 1:1:48 remaining in the first period. Dragons up by 4. .33's Daddy, sponsored by some Starbucks coffee from the Courtyard Marriott lobby. How much does coffee cost? $5 coffees, ladies and gentlemen. From the face-off, Emmett Cook sends a shot from the blue line right up the slot. Save Bearcats again. How come the score's wrong? You probably can't see. Shortino at center, passes it back to Emmett Cook, sends a shot, save Bearcats. Richardson collects it, tries to send another one towards the net there, and we'll get a whistle on the play. Bearcats covered. 1:35 remaining in the first period. Nefziger and Cook on defense. Shortino at center, Richardson and McCoy on the wing. Shortino for the face-off. Back to Richardson. Richardson sends it back to the back wall. Shortino will try to chase it down. Puck comes over to Richardson on the far boards. Back to Emmett Cook. And he'll send it back in deep to the back wall in the Bearcats zone. Battling for it behind the Bearcats net. Jackson McCoy comes back to help him. Back to Richardson. Richardson skates it out. Turns it around on the far side. Sends one up. Shortino's hunting for it. And Bearcats come out with it. Jackson McCoy battles it over to the near side. And puck remains in the Bearcat zone now that I can see it, but it squirts back out to the neutral zone again, and puck goes in for a minute and back out to Emmett Cook in the neutral zone. Sends it back in momentarily, and they're gonna send it all the way down. Should be an icing call, and it is. Nefziger collects it, passes it back to the referee. 40 seconds remaining in the first period. Dragons up by 4. Face off in the Bearcat zone. Smith at center, Courts and Easton Cook on the wing, Nefziger and Emmett Cook on defense. Smith for the face off. Tries to jam it through some traffic there. Oh, Nefziger almost held it in, mishandled it a little bit. Turns it around, passes it over to Emmett Cook at center ice. Back to Courts on the near side, and Bearcats collect. Skated all the way down into the Dragon zone. And Dragons say no, send it back to the blue line. Bearcats collect it again. Send another shot up the slot, Nefziger collect it. Skates it out to the neutral zone. Up the far side. All the way down. Around the referee, skates there, turns it around. Oh, tries to send one up in the center there, and that's going to do it for the first period of play, folks. Dragons up by 4 after 1 period of play. All right, we'll continue with our sponsor list. Generous donors, Jim and Sue Nefziger, John King, Mark and Sue Wells, Mike and Sandy Robertson, Nana and Papa Rowland, Sean and Laura Garrett, and Mr. Shortino's grandpa with Harper Trucking. Thank you for your generous donations. Bob Lindsay Honda, where it's more than a car, it's a Honda. Everyday low prices and a huge selection, www.boblindsayhonda.com. Agusty Construction, quality custom-built homes and remodels out of Morton, Illinois. Find them at AgustyConstruction.com. Goldfine & Bowles, personal injury attorneys with 60-plus years of experience in Peoria, Bloomington, and Galesburg. Find them at goldfineandbowles.com. Just Kids Dentistry, pediatric dentist in Washington and Peoria, www.justkidsdentistry.com. Land Rover of Peoria. If you're looking for a Land Rover, this is the place. Check them out at www.landroverpeoria.net. Mackinac IGA, friendly neighborhood store for groceries and more, located in Mackinac, Illinois. Stop in and tell them the 10U Pekin Dragons sent ya. And we're back for period 2. Switching sides and going the other way. So we're going to have Smith at center, Courts and Easton Cook on the wing, Wyatt Flynn and Grayson Blevins on defense. Bearcats got too many guys on the ice here. All right, Joan Smith for the face-off, back to Blevins in the neutral zone, and he'll skate it up and pass it back to Jonah Smith again. He'll enter the Bearcat zone on the near side. Oh, loose puck. Ooh, Courts had a shot. Got deflected wide, I think. Might have gone off the post, not sure. He'll chase it down on the far side boards in the Bearcat zone. Bearcats bring it back out to the neutral zone. And they'll skate it up the near side down into the Dragon zone. Send a bouncer past the net, just wide, and Courts will chase it down in the far corner. Tries to peel it up the far side boards there. Blevins stops the shot in the slot, and he's going to carry it back out to the neutral zone. Skates it all the way across, down into the Bearcat zone, up the near side boards, all the way down to the near corner. Puck gets freed up. Bearcats collect it. Courts comes back to meet him on the back wall. Got a delayed penalty here on the Bearcats, it seems. Nope. That's on Mr. Blevins. So we'll be on a penalty kill for a minute 30. Face off in the Dragon zone. So Shortino goes back with some words of encouragement for his netminder there. He'll be at center. Ash Moldenauer on the wing. Knapziger and Emmett Cook on defense. Moldenauer and Emmett Cook chase it down the near side, send it up the near side boards. Shortino forces it out, back to Moldenauer. He goes down at center ice there, and Bearcats collected on the far side in the neutral zone. Shortino comes back to meet him. Battling forward in the neutral zone in front of the Bearcats bench, and he'll send it all the way down to the Bearcats zone. Icing waved off. Bearcats collected on the back wall behind their net. Moldenauer races back to meet him. He got checked into there. It's going to be a penalty on the Bearcats, it seems. All right, 4-on-4 for 55 seconds. Face off in the Bearcats zone. Knapziger and Cook on defense. Shortino at center. Moldenauer on the wing. .10:28 remaining in the second period. Shortino for the face-off. Back to Moldenauer in the slot. Sends a shot. Oh! Looks like a pass to Shortino, waiting for it in front of the net there. He'll collect it, try to pass it back to Nash Moldenauer, and Bearcats intercepted the pass. And McCook collects it in the neutral zone, forces it in the far side. Moldenauer's off by himself in the slot. Oh, lost the puck there, and sends a shot. Ooh, ooh. Shortino was waiting for it. And back to Emmett Cook. Sends another shot. And Shortino deflects that one to the back wall. Whoop. Lost track of the puck there. He'll have to chase it back down behind the Bearcats net. Puck comes over to the near side to Emmett Cook. Emmett Cook. Pass to Moldenauer in front of the net. And puck bounces over to the far corner. Centering pass from Moldenauer to Shortino in the slot. And loses track of that. Carries it back to the back wall. And he's on top of it there in the far corner on the back wall. And back to Moldenauer. Puck squirts out. Back to Emmett Cook. Sends a shot. Save. Bearcats made the save there. Puck still loose. And McCoy trying to relentlessly tap it across the line. Couldn't quite get it there. Puck goes all the way down to the Dragon zone. And that's an icing call. We'll have a face-off back down in the Bearcats zone. 8:56 remaining in the second period. Dragons still up by 4. Smith at center, Richardson and McCoy on the wing. Blevins and Flynn on defense. Smith for the face-off. Puck comes over to the near side boards, and Wyatt Flynn will chase it down. Cross-ice pass over to Blevins on the far side, and he'll send a shot. Nope. Yep. Well, loose puck. That was a shot. Save Bearcats. Puck is still loose there, and they're going to carry it up the far side boards out to the neutral zone. Blevins comes over to meet him. So does Wyatt Flynn. Bearcats force it deep into the Dragon zone, and Flynn sends it back down the ice. That'll be another icing call there, and we'll have a face-off in the Dragon zone with 8:24 remaining in the second period. Dragons up by 4. Same lineup. Both teams are back to full strength, I believe. Bearcats win the face-off. Blevins strips a puck in the slot there in the Dragon zone. Bearcats turn it around. Try to center one up. Jonas Smith tries to send it up the far or near side boards rather, and Bearcats hold it in. Puck squirts out to the neutral zone. Jackson McCoy chases it down, carries it in. Tries to dangle around some Bearcat players. A little mid-ice collision there. Bearcats collect it. Send it back out to the neutral zone. And Bearcats got one out for the races here. Wyatt Flynn stops him. Bearcats turn it around. Cross-ice pass to a player in the neutral zone, and they'll send it in deep. Back to the Dragon zone. Wyatt Flynn to the back wall. Collects the puck. Sends it over to Jonas Smith on the near side. And he'll send it back out to the neutral zone. Bearcats will chase it down deep in their zone, skate it around the back of their net. Send it up the far side boards there. And Bearcats lost track of the puck there. Richardson's all over him. He'll chase it down on the back wall. And forces it over to the near side corner. Turns it around before the blue line, tries to center one up. Bearcats stop that shot. Send it back out to the neutral zone. Wyatt Flynn's waiting for it at center ice. He'll chase it down in the Dragon zone, turns it around. Dangles around a Bearcat player with some speed. Backhands a shot off the side of the Bearcats net. And Bearcats turn it around. They'll carry it up the near side boards and down into the Dragon zone, all the way into the near corner. Send a shot, save Johnson. And they'll collect it again in the near far corner, and Blevins battling for it on the back wall there. Shortino races over to help him. Oh, we had a funny bounce there, high up in the sky, and it just kind of fell in there. I don't know if anybody saw where it went, but it bounced into the net. Whoopsie. 6:03 remaining in the second period. And Dragons are still up by 3. Score of 4-1. Shortino for the face-off. Over to Easton Cook. And had a collision there. Shortino gets back up, picks up the puck. Dangles around all of the Bearcat traffic in front of him there, and he'll collect it again at center ice. Sends it into the Bearcat zone off the far boards, and Bearcats collect it. Braxton, of course, racing for it there on the back wall. Bearcats turn it around and send it back out to the neutral zone. Nafziger stops that. He'll be back to defend, and Bearcats send one wide off the back wall. Over to the far side it goes. Nafziger stops that shot attempt, turns it around, dangles some Bearcat players, and he's all the way out. Across the neutral zone he comes into the Bearcat zone. Stops at the face-off circle. Got 2 Bearcats on him. Oh, sends a shot through the crease and over to the near side boards. And Shortino will race it down. Back to Emmett Cook. Emmett Cook turns it around in the neutral zone. Tries to skate through some Bearcat traffic. Nafziger comes over for it on the near side. Passes it off the near boards to Shortino, the center line. And he'll dance his way through all kinds of traffic. Whoa, almost got a shot there, but the Bearcats picked his pocket from behind, and he'll battle for it. Well, somebody's battling for it on the near side, I see. Puck squirts back out to the neutral zone. Nafziger's back to defend. Forces him over to the far side boards. Puck bounces off the back wall. Nobody wants the puck. And over to Shortino. Shortino races across the neutral zone, down into the Bearcat zone, dangles around one guy, and off the side of the net there. Might have been a save by the netminder. Loose puck, still loose. Shortino's trying to battle it through the legs of the Bearcat netminder. He'll get shoved from behind after the whistle. 3:58 remaining in the second period. Dragons up by 3, face off in the Bearcat zone. Smith at center, and Moldenauer and McCoy on the wings. Smith over to Moldenauer, waiting in the slot, and sends a shot. Ooh, bounced it through the skates of a Bearcat player there, and they'll try to paddle it back out to Blevins at the blue line. He'll send it in deep on the near side. And Moldenauer will battle for it on the back wall. Bearcats come out with it up the near side. Smith tries to stop him inside the zone, and he does. Puck comes back out to Blevins, and he'll carry it in up the near side. Tries to center one up, shoots from the slot, and deflects off of a Bearcat player. McCoy will try to chase it down. Blevins stops it in the blue line again, sends it back in deep. McCoy and Moldenauer race back for it. Moldenauer over to the far corner. Bearcats get there first. Carry it up the far side boards, and Blevins stops it at the blue line again, sends it in a little deeper, and puck bounces out to Wyatt Flynn in the neutral zone. Flynn chases it over to the near side boards in the neutral zone, sends it up the near side there, looking for Smith. And Moldenauer will send it over to McCoy on the far side. Bearcats turn it around. Blevins and Flynn back to defend. Ooh, save Johnson, blocker save, and here comes Blevins back out to the neutral zone, over to McCoy. McCoy turns it around in front of the Dragons bench, sends it in deep. Jonah Smith will chase it down on the back wall. He'll get there first, looking for a centering pass. Here comes Blevins, Sends a shot up the slot. Oh, glove save, and puck gets deflected over to the near boards again. And Flynn, offside Dragons. Sorry, he almost kept it in there. 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Dragons up by 3. Face off in the neutral zone. Easton Cook and Houston Richardson on the wings. Shortino at center. Emmett Cook and Jet Nafziger on defense. From the face-off, Bearcats collected in their zone. Skated back out to the neutral zone. Easton Cook knocks it back in. Bearcats collect. Send it up the near side. Emmett Cook skates it through all the Bearcat traffic back down and deep into the Bearcat zone. Goal! Emmett Cook! Dragons goal. 1:38 remaining in the second period. That's a hat trick for Mr. Cook, I believe. Shortino at center. Same lineup as before. Richardson, Easton Cook on the wing, Jet Nafziger and Emmett Cook on defense. And Shortino for the face-off. Puck comes over to the far side. Nafziger sends it up the neutral zone. Shortino's racing it down, and he'll muscle it in by himself. All the way down into the Bearcats zone. Sends a shot. Save Bearcats. Lost track of the puck there. Puck goes over to the far boards. And Easton Cook. Ooh. Tried to pass it back to Nafziger there. And Emmett Cook will pick that up. Paddle it back to Nafziger, and he'll send it up to Shortino at the top of the... Oh! Referee was in the way there. Shortino ran into him, fell down. Centering pass to Shortino. Goal, Dragons! Dragons up by 5, 55.6 seconds remaining in the second period. Same lineup. Shortino for the face-off. And he'll muscle across the neutral zone. Bearcats collect it. And they'll scrape it up the far side boards and down into the Dragon zone. Send a shot. Glove save, Johnson. Ha-ha! 44.8 seconds remaining in the second period. Dragons up by 5. Should have a clock roller here when the next period starts, unless something bad happens here. Same lineup. Shortino back to Nafziger from the face-off. Nafziger collects it, turns it around behind the Dragons' net, sends it over to the far corner, and Easton Cook shoves it over to the near side boards. Emmett Cook is in hot pursuit. Bearcats send it back in deep. Easton Cook collects it on the far side. And back to Nafziger in the face-off circle. Oop, lost the puck there. Send another one up the slot, and Emmett Cook will stop that with his shin pad. Sends it back out to the neutral zone. 10 seconds remaining in the second period. Dragons battle it out of the neutral zone and into the Bearcats zone. And that's going to do it for the second period of play, folks. Dragons up by 5 goals after 2. All right, let's finish up our sponsor list here. Next thing, Smoking Band. Smoking Hot Country Band from Morton. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, or your local music venue. 923 and Company clothing store located in Pekin. Find them on Facebook under the 923 Co. Rowland Heating and Cooling HVAC services out of Morton. 309-256-3857. Royal Realty Real Estate Company. Find them on Facebook under the Royal Realty Company, Illinois. Paul Wedding Services. When you want to include your pet in your wedding day, check them out at www.paulweddingservices.com. Skin Deep Beauty, specializing in Botox filler and vitamin infusions, located in Salon Lush in Morton, Illinois. Find them on Facebook under Skin Deep Beauty. And Stoops Plumbing, the greatest plumbers in the world, specializing in commercial and industrial projects across Illinois. www.stoopsplumbing.com. And we're back for the final regulation period of Game 2 of the 2025 UHT Luck of the Irish tournament from South Bend, Indiana. Gonna have Jonah Smith at center, and Ash Moldenhauer and Braxton Courts on the wing. Wyatt Flynn and Grayson Blevins on defense. And Jonah Smith powers it into the Bearcat zone, and Nash Moldenhauer will chase it down on the near side. Comes back to Blevins at the blue line. Couldn't quite hold it in there, and he'll dangle around some traffic, try to get it in a little deeper, and he does. Shoots from the face-off circle. Goal! Blevins! Dragons goal! 11. Well, clock's rolling. Woo! I think that's number 2 for him for the season, right? Fantastic. Clock's rolling down to the 11:10 mark, left in regulation. Same lineup. Nope, sorry, Nefziger and Emmett Cook on defense. Same forward lineup. Smith for the face-off. Sends it back down deep into the Dragons zone. Nefziger will collect it, dangle around some traffic, skates in front of his own net there, and takes it over to the far side boards. Tries to paddle it up the far side. And Bearcats hold it in. Nefziger stops that shot, skates it up into the neutral zone. And back to Courts on the far side. He'll send a shot. Ooh, save Bearcats. Over to Moldenhauer on the near side. And Bearcats collect it behind their net. Skated it across the face-off circle on the far side, back out into the neutral zone, all the way down into the Dragon zone. Nefziger intercepts, carries it back out. Can't quite clear the zone, though. Now he does. And back across the neutral zone it goes. Emmett Cook forces it back up to Jonah Smith, and Jonah Smith will skate it in. Sends it cross ice pass over to Moldenhauer on the near side. He wasn't there yet, but he got there. And Bearcats collect it. And we got a whistle here on the play, it looks like. Oh, Jonah Smith's going to go off for 1:30. And we're going to, clock stopped at 9:41. Have a face-off in the Dragon zone. We'll be down a man. And we'll have McCoy on the wing. Blevins and Nefziger. Nope, Blevins and Flynn on defense. Shortino for the face-off. And we're off. Shortino for the face-off. Gary picks up the puck, skates it around the back of the Dragons net, turns it around, and he'll skate it across the near side near side circle there, and looking for McCoy. McCoy tips it down into the Bearcats zone. I guess that's an icing call. Clock rolls down. Shooting for the face-off over to Wyatt Flynn and over to Blevins. Blevins looking for McCoy on the far side, and he finds him. McCoy's going to skate it across the neutral zone, gets taken out at the legs there, and puck comes back into the Bearcats zone. Bearcats carry it back out with some speed across the neutral zone. Blevins back to defend. Stick on puck action. Save Johnson! Kick save, and the puck bounced high over the top of the net there. I was worried that one was going to fall into it too, but it didn't. McCoy battles it across the neutral zone. Ooh, almost got it snuck in there in the Bearcat zone. They tap it back across the neutral zone and enter the Dragon zone on the far side. Send a shot. Bounced off of Shortino's leg pad there. And Blevins knocks it back out to the neutral zone to McCoy on the near side. We got all kinds of bodies hitting the floor over here. Clock rolls down to the 8-minute mark here in regulation, and Dragons are back to full strength. Shortino for the face-off. Carries it through all of the Bearcat traffic and down up the slot over to the far corner. Passes it back to Wyatt Flynn at the blue line, sends a shot. Oh, save Bearcats. And over to Jackson McCoy in the near corner. Back to Blevins at the blue line, sends a shot. Up, bounced out of the way. Just missed the shot there. Shortino had a sniff at that rebound. Blevins sends another shot. Whoa, loose puck, save Bearcats. And loose puck in the crease. Oh. Shortino tries to collect it there. Puck comes off the near side boards. Back to Blevins. Sends it back in deep to Shortino. Shortino picks it off the back wall. Turns it around. Went down on his knees there. He's battling with 4 Bearcat players. And puck comes out to McCoy. Oh, almost had a shot up the slot. Had a guy in his way there. Back to Blevins. Blevins sends it back in. Icing waved off. Bearcats collect it. Send it up the near side. And back to Flynn in the neutral zone. Flynn off the far boards there in the neutral zone. Bearcats collect it and they'll advance into the Dragon zone on the far side. Send a shot. Glove save Johnson. Clock rolls down to the 6:15-ish mark. Face off in the Dragon, or in the, Dragon zone. Six minutes remaining in regulation. Jonas Smith at center, Nafziger and Emmett Cook on defense. Braxton Courts and Easton Cook on the wings. And puck comes over the far side boards, and Emmett Cook back to Easton Cook. Back to Braxton Courts. And he'll dance it through some traffic there. Goes down on his side on the far side boards, and Easton Cook's over to battle with him. Here comes the puck. Got freed up. Jonas Smith collects it. Skates it in on the near side over deep into the Bearcat zone. Bearcats stop his shot attempt. Emmett Cook will chase it down on the far side. Knocks it back out to the neutral zone. Jonas Smith sends it across the neutral zone, and Bearcats collect it. Bearcats advance into the Dragon zone. Offside. Clock rolled past the 5-minute mark there. We're sitting at around 4:45 by the time the puck drops, it would seem. Smith at center, Courts and Easton Cook on the wings. Wyatt Flynn and Grayson Blevins on defense. Smith back to Blevins from the face-off, and he'll send it up to Wyatt Flynn on the far side. Blevins turn it around. Or not, Bearcats turned it around. And Blevins will chase it down on the near side. Flynn stops a centering pass attempt. Skates it around the back of the Dragons net. And save Johnson. Whoa, another one through the crease there. And that shot went wide. Blevins battling for it behind the Dragons net, and Bearcats send it up the far side boards in the Dragon zone. Here comes Courts, tries to get it out to the neutral zone. Bearcats hold it in. And Bearcats pick off Mr. Flynn in the far face-off circle, and Jonas Smith gives it back to him. And back to Courts. Courts carries it out to the neutral zone. Less puck there at center ice. He'll turn around up the far side boards looking for Easton Cook. And Easton Cook battling with 2 players just got punched in the head and the face there. And we had a delayed penalty on the Bearcats, it would seem. Man, I hope. Shortino at center, Moldenauer and Richardson on the wings, Nafziger and Emmett Cook on defense. And 1, 2, 3, yep. Dragons power play for 1:30. 3:29 remaining on the clock from period 3. Oh, that was a flagrant penalty, I imagine, so they got 2 in the box. Shortino for the face-off. Over to Moldenauer in the slot. Oh, sends a shot, gets deflected over to the near side. And can't really see what's going on through the foggy glass here. It's a little frosty in here. Puck goes into the slot, or into the crease there, and Bearcats netminder passes it up to one of their players. They'll advance across the neutral zone. And save Johnson! Back to Shortino. And back to Moldenauer. And back to Shortino. Shortino advances into the neutral zone and across center ice. And sends a shot off the post. And it bounces back over to the near side. Bearcats get there first. Back to Nafziger at the blue line. He'll send a bouncer up to Richardson. Richardson, goal! The Big Red strikes again. Dragons up by 7. 28 seconds. Well, the clock's still rolling, but I have a face-off at center ice. Clock's rolling down to the 2-minute markish. 2:10 maybe. Yep, Shortino for the face-off. He wins that one clean, carries it into the Bearcat zone, sends a shot, goal, Dragons. Shortino goal. Clock rolls down to the 1:50-ish mark, and we'll start over at center ice again. Dragons up by 8. Smith at center, Courts and McCoy on the wing. Wyatt Flynn, Grayson Blevins on defense. And Smith for the face-off. Over to Grayson Blevins on the far side, and he'll send it deep into the Bearcat zone. Icing waved off. Bearcats get there first. Try to turn it around, but Jackson McCoy goes back to meet him. Bearcats carry it across the face-off circle. Cross-ice pass to a player on the near side, and Jonas Smith gets there before he can get it out of the zone. Courts battles forward in the near corner in the Bearcats zone, and back to Wyatt Flynn at the blue line, sends a shot. Oh, save, Bearcats. Back to Braxton Courts again. Back to Wyatt Flynn on the near side, and he'll send it back in deep. And Bearcats send it all the way back into the Dragon zone. Grayson Blevins gets there first. Bounces it off a Bearcat player into the neutral zone and sends it up the near side. All the way down. Looking for Courts. Courts sends a shot. Save Bearcats. Over to McCoy on the far side. Passes it back to Wyatt Flynn. Cross ice pass to Blevins. Blevins sends a shot. Oh, off the post. Off of the far post there. And Bearcats collect it. And over to the near side, back to Blevins again. Over to Courts. Courts sends a shot wide. Netminder will poke check that over to the far boards, and 10 seconds remaining in regulation. Less than 10 seconds. Blevins tries to paddle it back out of the zone. Bearcat stopped it. Save Johnson. That'll do it for regulation, folks. Dragons victorious in Game 2, 2025 UHT. Luckily Irish tournament here in South Bend, Indiana. Thanks for tuning in today. Dragons go back to congratulate their netminder on a game well played, and then we'll all line up at center ice for the ceremonial, congratulatory, celebratory fist bump. Brings the Dragons record to 1 win, 1 loss for the tournament so far. I think if we can win the next 2, we might have a shot at the championship. We will see. 2:45 this afternoon, I believe, Central Time, 3:45 Eastern Time. Tune back in this afternoon for exciting game number 3 of the 2025 UHT Luck of the Irish tournament. Till then, 3rd Degrees Daddy signing off. We'll see you this afternoon, 2:45. Let's go, Dragons!